Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We have two wonderful poets with us today, Nicca Ray and Jane LeCroy. Nicca will read first, and then Jane. Nicca Ray is the author of the memoir, Ray by Ray, a daughter's take on the legend of Nicholas Ray, Three Rooms Press, and the poetry collection, Go, Go, Go Girl, Poison Fang Books, Curb, Gutter, Snob Books, and Backseat Baby Poison Fang Books. Her poetry has appeared in various journals and anthologies, including Maintenance. Most recently, she's been featured in the magazine Amni and on the podcast Human Craft and Storytelling on Orchard Street. Her play, The Cry of the Butterfly, will be performed at the Theater for the New City in February 2026, and her memoir, Love and Cigarette, is forthcoming from Punk Hostage Press. She is an Acker Award recipient and a Pushcart nominee. Here's a marvelous poet, Nicca Ray.
My first collection, Backseat Baby. This is Pinata. Seatbelts aren't the law yet. Brake for the red light, the sudden stop sign, the last sun ray hitting the lone palm tree, the cross where Jesus died on the distant mountaintop, the exodus, the parking space across the street from the open marketplaces, she says remind her of when we lived in Madrid. I don't remember cobblestone or slabs of meat hanging from racks or baskets and flowers or Terra Vera pottery, but I remember the piñatas she hung from the shady tree in our backyard just east of Hollywood, and on my birthday hitting the blue, purple, yellow, and orange paper mache horse with a baseball bat and opening my eyes just a slight crack so I could see where all the candy fell. Okay. Dreaming. I fell off streets onto cliffs where oceans lie below, and cul-de-sacs lead to dead-ended answers to questions beckoning more. Barefoot. Acoustic guitars, harmonicas, smooth voices singing stories, speaking longing over my mother's car radio. Driving past the troubadour. I'm not legal age. I can't go hear Ronnie Blakely sing Lightning Over Water. Mom drives the winding canyon road, the Topanga Corral, Chris Christopherson, Moonshine. Warm-toned cinematography, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Madness, Apocalypse Now. Wide open spaces, Days of Heaven. Is there an escape from cruelty? Deliverance. Julie Christie, Robert Altman, Ned Beatty, John Borman, Brooke Adams, Terrence Malick, Richard Gere, Bring Me Here, Hare Krishna, under tents on Ocean Park, tambourines. Don't eat meat, goat farm, carrot picking, llamas. My brother lives in a cabin at the end of the canyon dirt road. Once upon a time ago, Hazel Scott played the piano and sang him songs. Now he smokes hashish. Burl Ives gave my other brother his first guitar. Hair and pants, braless, sunstroke skin, golden hair, lemon, succulent peaches, wet sand under fingernails, freshly painted toes, freckles, bloodshot eyes, seaweed necklaces, salt air, sandstorms, mudslides, high tide, sandstones, 70s, Topanga Canyon, free love mom, sandalwood, earthworms, driftwood, fog, open roads, speeding cars, canyon falls, coyotes. School buses made into houses, frogs, pebbles stuck between toes, men with sand-speckled beards, teenagers with surfboards, the absence of school bells ringing, whitewash spritzers, pelican sunsets, endless tomorrows, sweeping sand with my toes till the tide comes knee-high and washes me away. Hungry. I wait for you to call like a hungry dog, waiting at the door, wanting food. I don't know why I'm lonely. I have you. I have so much love. I don't see you every night. I see you in the morning when you are asleep, and when you come home after midnight, I jump up out of bed and run to the front door like a little girl who's been waiting 10 years for her father to come home. She scoops pralines and cream at the Baskin Robbins, Western Avenue, Hollywood. She walks through the hills, dried milky patches across wrists, digs secrets into staircases, 30 years passing, all the way home. Ghosts. I'm a sinking ship, far away from Treasure Island, inside a house where gusts of wind blow cold, and the creaking of its old bones turn to a hyena's bark, waking me long after the moon takes full bloom. I'm face to face with shadows. I'm a scream without sound, a muzzle without mouth, a breath without lungs. I'm running from childhood ghosts, a sea captain without a steer, holding wrought iron railings, slipping barefoot, down, down, down the hard stone staircases, breathlessly, silently, slipping through the cracks in the darkness where the light shines through. Flight. If I could part ways with my flesh, would I be free of those memories that trick me into hating my body? If I were weightless, could I lift off pavement, be a rocket to the moon? If I was a spacesuit, could I float away, be a balloon, escaping into the sky, no one able to reach my string? If I could reassemble myself, attach my left leg where my right arm ought to be, would I land inside a Picasso? If I were hanging off a screw drilled into a pristine gallery wall, would I take comfort in being stared at? If you hadn't have touched me, would I have lived my life thinking every stranger saw the dirt on my face? If I'd been alive in 1938, would I have been cast in angels with dirty faces? If I was a Fragonard cherub, would joy be my bounty? If I was joyful, would his trespasses leave my thoughts alone? And now I'm going to read from my collection, Curve. It's my second collection, put out by Gutter Snob Books. Cacophony. My hair is so short, strangers call me sir. My dress is so short, women call me whore. My diet is so exclusive, I only eat red apples. My reflection is obscured by the stormwater runoff. My disgruntled demeanor is the backed up drain. My so is such an eye roll, my shoe falls off the curb. My silence is the razor sharp, my scream the shattered mirror, my wrists the branches breaking, my surrender the howling wind. Breathe. Just please throw down your foot on that pedal. I'm too drunk to make a sound. In the back seat of the curves this car of yours takes, so carelessly. Breathe. This roller coaster ride of heartbreak, beating me down, a stomach in my throat, over and over, so relentlessly. Breathe. 110 miles per hour on the 101 to mayhem, your leg out the window, your hand on the wheel, so brazenly. Breathe. My chest is breaking, my heart leaps out, running to danger. Danger is running so furiously. Breathe. Out of breath, I have no feet. There is no pedal for me to break, no bottle for me to suck air, no you to hold so rapturously. Breathe. Breathless. In my sleep, I'm running through the hills, past the field of palm trees, through the backyard door. In my life, I'm stalling with fever, cold chill, realization I don't want to care. In your heart, I'm bleeding, bleeding, hungry, hunger for you who I adore. In your eyes, a blue jay rattle, calling, calling, the home stretch I pace through my lair. In my waking hours, I clutch onto mirrors, reflecting backward motions, crawling, crawling on the floor. In your moonshine glance, I see blaring, blaring visions, my moodiness, the peak and valley where I lay myself bare. In your arms, I chitter with restless thoughts, spinning, spinning far away from how desperately I want you more. In the afternoon sunlight, I am catching glimpses, catching your kisses, planting, planting new ground. In the hum of sunset, my beating, fearful drums fade. In your grip, my running ceases, non-existent is sound. In your promising, I am made. And now I'm going to read from Go, Go, Go Girl, which is my most recent collection put out by Poison Fang Books. Threads. Falling through sky, through earth, through ground, through hole, through man, reaching for clouds, for leaves, for dirt, for shovel, for hole. I fell for a man. My heart was a sieve. I'm falling through sky, landing on stars, reaching for ground, shoveling dirt, branding, reckless, abandoned, running through streets, through maze, through gardens, through thorns, through sprinklers, hoping for love, for dreams, for joy, for sun, for birth, rebirth. Upon her, a ponder. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. Ponder, my body born, to a mother and father strung out. I cry at night, I cry at day. I cry, but no one comes my way. Father goes, mother stays. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. I eat a horse, I swallow pills, I guzzle liquid intoxicants. I eat a cake, I eat a mountain. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. I tumble down and bruised, cut up, curled up, shot up, ponder my body born. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. I cry at night, I cry at day. I cry, but no one comes my way. I am a pill, I am a horse. I am a mountain, a cake, a bottle, a mistake. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. Rid me of this body born. I touch the roll, my stomach aches. I am a tear, I am mother's fear, I am my father's runaway. I eat a cake, I eat a mountain, I eat the hillside. I am the guzzle, the horse, the moon over mountain, the hillside sliding. I touch, my stomach aches. Remembering beauty. Remember the day you looked at yourself in the mirror and you knew you were beautiful 40 years ago? Did you then show your skin with aplomb? Or does your memory play tricks? Remember your hair, long, blonde, flowing, midway down back, and you knew you had it going on, 17 years old. Did you then comb fingers through your mane with twinkle in your eye? Capture. Remember your breasts, your nipples through a sheer black slip, and you knew you held eyes captive, 32 years old. Did you then place your hand on stomach, flat, sensuality exposed? Remember being proud, naked body, your panties slide, and you knew you were empowered? How old were you then? Did you then know the lies you held close to your chest and your heart, shielded? Remember tricking, thinking into believing you, and you knew you were powerful? How old were you then? Did you then embrace it, the lying, when confusion set in, the fog? Remember conquest, capture, control, thinking, stopping, and you knew you had the power, 24 years old. Did you then stop past from shredding future aspirations of love? Remember exposed, not who you are, but projection, and you knew you projected. How old were you then? Did you then project the wrong image of a woman being free? Body. Remember the fog, remember fear, trapped your body, and you knew you were running, 28 years old. Did you then sit still for the nude pose, or was that you squirming with hand? Remember resting, hand on hips, side eyes? Look under, and you knew you were hiding, 29 years old. Did you then know you hid yourself from you and him and body naked? Remember posing, forever love, forgetting past. And you knew you were changing, 33 years old. Did you then feel your skin rub against his torso? Climactic heaven. And last but not least, I am there found. Night shadows, I am there, looking for a window bare. Flashing signs, I am there, across streets, I am bare. Lone, hand in palm, I stare out, I see her, I am there, found. Oh, darkness, I befriend, devil's horn, I am bare, bound in the scape, landing ground, I am there, standing proud, shown, night shadows. I am there, looking out the window bare. Oh, darkness, take me there in your grip, I declare, found. Window pane, I look through, standing there, I see you, me. Night shadows, the terror of a dream I can't hold, born. Oh, darkness, set me free. This barren life I am, there, across streets, I am there, in shadow, in the night, lone, I am there, standing still, in shadows, glorified, bound. Set me free, into streets I wander, soul to bear, roam, night shadows. I watch you, I am there, that is me. One, oh window, I stare out, see me there? Standing proud, bare, I cry out, you is me. This window, I jump out, ground, darkest street, corners hold, secrets told, I am there, found. All right, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Nicca. Your poetry is so beautiful and so real and elegiac and loving and hopeful and joyful. And it, you are there. You're here, and I was with you every word of the way. It's musical. Your language is just superb, and it's your poetry. To use one of your phrases, is razor sharp, and it's freeing. Here you just talk in a truthful way. So thank you for such just a fabulous reading. And I have a couple of questions for you. When did you write your first poem?
When did I write my first poem? Yeah. Well, when I was 20, I would write them in my journal, and I didn't share them with anybody but my best friend at the time. I would I would make her listen to my poetry, but I wouldn't share anything with anybody.
And what attracts you to the poetry form?
I love poetry because it can be ambiguous. It doesn't need a beginning, middle, and end. I just fell in love with the freedom of writing poetry when I was writing Ray by Ray, because that book, I needed to cross the T's and dot the I's. And, it was just so, there was just so much to it and so much to do. And so I started writing poetry when I was writing that book, and it gave me so much freedom to express myself in a way that maybe didn't give you the answer. I don't have to have the answers. I can just pose questions if I want to.
Well, there is a freeing quality about your writing. Who were some of the poets who influenced you before you started writing seriously and in a regular way?
Well, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I'm like, holy cow. Holy cow. Okay, Sharon Olds. Why I can't remember her name. She was so, I was so influenced by her. I'm drawing a blank. I'm so embarrassed. She wrote in the 50s.
Well, that's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I understand completely. And I just want to say the last thing, your poetry, I write from the emotions, and I see you write from the emotions too. And what you express about your hunger and love and where you are, and you just express it in such a beautiful human way. And it just has really touched me deeply. It's so moving. So thank you once again, Nicca Ray. It's a real honor to have you on our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Our next poet is Jane LeCroy. Jane LeCroy serves the poetry gods as a featured character in the Poetry Brothel NYC and as a teaching artist bringing love of poetry to students and publishing their work. She sets her poetry to music in her bands Slice and
Slice.
Pardon?
Slice.
Okay, you heard it. And the Icebergs. Records are streaming everywhere. Three Rooms Press published her multimedia book of lyrical poems, Signature Play. Pink Trees Press published a new collection of her poetry, Spellbook of Ordinary Mistakes. Here's a wonderful poet, Jane LeCroy.
Hi. Thanks for having me on this show. It's very exciting. I really appreciate all the ears on my work always. My book starts with a very small poem. This is Spellbook of Ordinary Mistakes, my newest collection. We are made of division. From our first cell, we split and keep splitting. Leave what we are for new leaving. Dividing, dividing, dividing. So it starts with a short one, but I'm going to take advantage of having time to read and read some of my longer pieces too. I'm going to go back and forth between things. This is a new piece. Fly me far away. I said to the streets that shuffled me along their cobbles like a strange wheel, bumping, rolling a good time on a dark, cold night, alone because I never thought it would be so hard to get regular hot sex when I was a healthy girl with a warm smile who was good at listening to problems and dumb jokes and the same stories over and over without complaining. But it turns out big hunger gets you hungrier. And I broke a lot of hearts and dicks and drained the chi. So I begged the streets to put me in the sky and fly me far away. But the streets laughed and said that I was far out enough. So I should just stay in this famous city where I know the hosts to the artsy parties and get fancy invitations to birthdays and shows where I get to be practically naked and never apologize for my loud voice and sharp tongue that scares a lot of horses. Oh, and when they gallop away, I can just jump onto the big animal and we'll get to the green of the Kentucky Derby where they'll all appreciate my hat and my style. So gamble away on the horses with the best names, because a good life is just a poem you write with good words in a good order, and whatever is good, you get to define for yourself. Don't look at their dictionaries. Their dictionaries are their own, and you never get to be fluent in anyone else's tongue unless you are deeply kissing them. And only then, for those few moments, because even the longest kisses are still not so long as the poems about kisses. Those last forever. The kiss never lasts forever, but the poem does. Art is the longest action you can take. Poems are like the cobbles that bring a horse to you and get you to the place where you can gamble based on names. And there you have the religion of the people in America that are all mixed up and stirring the world and breaking the hearts and the dicks, draining the chi, and you can never get far enough away so that it stops hurting. But you get the poems and make books if you're lucky. Thank goodness for the copy machine and staples. Gallop the stapler along those spines that make the gutter of books and get your poetry out there. Boat. Where is your vessel moored? I have seen the body guided by stars over the natural bodies of water, how it floats, lists, and bounces as it rests, how it glides and unzips the water as it cuts and goes, leaving its trail to be swallowed, its ripples to widen and lap. What is the map you use? What is your destination? Or are you one to draw your own and make the treasure as you go, knowing nothing waits for you? There is only what you drive. The stars are there for you to use, but they don't care. The planets drift unfixed, but still trapped in their pattern, repeating. Your vessel that glimmers in the night and flashes in the day, where do you let it take you? There be dragons and fog sometimes so thick to steal your vision, storms and decay besides. How many sunsets will you get to see? And between them, who will you be then when you anchor and then when you are free? I dreamt you were master. I dreamt you were master, fading, the moon, the Milky Way shot from you. To swallow these stars is to glow with your light, this infinite joy be coming night. I look at clear skies during dark spilling stars. In slow motion, I am yours. Though light years we may be apart, our love is art. The sky is stained with our hearts. Like the face of Christ on the shroud of Turin, the stories are gorgeous beyond religion. Greeks believed night's face was milk from a breast, but we put white drops upon our lips. We kiss and kiss still. Your image impressed my eye, telescope fulfilled. The day after. This isn't a future book, but it also has to do with the stars. I'm taking us from cells to stars, the little things that are big things. The day after. The constellations are a huge disappointment, merely an act of imagination equivalent to believing in God. When I learned about the constellations as a child, I had such high hopes and huge expectations. I saw them in a book as elaborate drawings in the night sky. When I was taken to a truly brilliant night sky for the first time and saw that there were no pictures, I really felt the blow to my soul. My heart was broken. Humans have to make meaning. It doesn't just exist independent of us. And that is a brutal realization to a child. It is up to us to connect the dots. The stars were my first love, and the constellations my first heartbreak. I wish no one ever even told me about the stupid constellations. What a letdown. They're not pictures at all, but a visual mnemonic device for identifying distance relationships, the opposite of closeness. between the magic of the lights that are beautiful enough. The day after, you really get to see the night sky in all its brilliance for the first time. You're like in this mental state of sadness that lasts one's lifetime. Salmonella Cinderella. Salmonella Cinderella. She's the beast, he's the belle. He's the beau, she's the show. She says yes, he says no. Thinking king of hearts he is, she's the card right under his. I read your mind, never mind. Always your deck, never mind. Hours, hours, for hours and hours. We go together like funeral and flowers. Study in blue economics. Your worth is untranslatable to a wage. Your inherent value is greater than any measurement device could interpret. Earnings simply a myopic mercantilism. Pressure to quantify, justify, goals, plans. You cannot understand how heavy a heart is by weighing it, or know how big it is by noting metrics. Poetry is the most accurate tool we have to calculate the size and weight of this life. Melting dolly clocks, imparting the erratic lengths of our hours like dreams. Think of sunlight spooling through your shirt, undressing you beneath your clothes, to survey the edges defining your form, to wear its warm and weightless veil. I complied to be taken in a picture, gladly, to pause, pose, be captured, to keep this communion in light, the way time travels. We didn't come to Earth to pay bills, trade in our heartbeats for cash. There's no saving up days in the bank. Better safe on a river. Like that night we spent on the rip-rap Hudson shore, opposite glittering Manhattan, where we removed our clothes and wore the great skyline, still too small to cover us. You did not love me. Mrs. Leber, you did not love me in 6th grade. You thought I talked too much with Matt Duss and sent me to the hallway as punishment. But I liked the quiet long corridor of concrete block painted high gloss white, lit by ceiling fluorescent lights, opposite the beige terrazzo tile floor with confetti specks. At Hilltop Middle School in Nyack, New York, I'd make up stories and poems in my head, wishing I had my pencil and notebook, but I could remember them anyway. I'd sit on the floor and feel the textures and temperatures around me. School staff would pass by and command, "Stand up, no sitting on the floor." So I'd squat to try and circumvent the rules. After a while, you'd call out, "Are you ready to come back into the classroom, young lady?" I simply replied, "No." You became so angry, you huffed and left me out there until lunchtime. Matt Duss heard my defiance, drift in from the passageway, and was impressed by my rejection of authority. We became best friends. I got a lot of work done out there. Important, independent work. This one is a villanelle. My favorite form. Delay, deny, depose. One must make a profit every quarter. Poison, genocide, firearms, lead. No surprise we would love a murder. See the loopholes in the world order? Reward oligarchs, patriarchs, corporate debt. One must make a profit every quarter. It doesn't matter who you slaughter. It only matters why you did what you did. No surprise, we would love a murder. No one denies love for the daughter. Women are expected to act as a thread. One must make a profit every quarter. Every country fights for its borders. It's really a miracle not more dreams are dead. No surprise, we would love a murder. For-profit healthcare is no one's martyr. It doesn't matter what they did. One must make a profit every quarter. No surprise, we would love a murder. Explorer. You are eternal, uncharted territory. As a shifting body transforming, a personal history, you will be so many things before you die. Your indigenous self conquered over and over by experiments from society and culture. But you are distinct from these sectors of prevailing circumstances in the territories you move through. You will come upon yourself and beat it down by trying to conform, succeed by a set of standards imposed upon you, with or without your cooperation. Reject your failures. Recognize them as the chapters they are in the book of you. Your indigenous self keeps writing, searching for that passage and treasure that is present all along. You. The map is always changing as we become ourselves. Each story is one of defeat and discovery, loss and victory. Forever discover the ever new world. Dreamers. How easy is it to be a horse in a meadow running free beyond the bells of the cattle trapped in their song of captivity? Feature my hooves with their cuneiform they write in the dirt as they run with the wind among flowers, their manes free as kites, at the mercy of the weather or not. Tomorrow will come with its clumsy gift of fruit. I will run beside the beast, as the beast, carrying the hope of sex. Holy fuck, I remember our union among the sea creatures. We were singing our atheist prayers. We wanted gods so bad we believed in each other. And we drank the blood of each other's alphabets. Our poem bones clackety-clicked, the stars sparkly sparked, but not as sparkly as us, drunk on words with our van chariot big as a whale. We galloped across the country, scaring the locals with our verse and our divine costumes that made people mistake us for terrorists. But we were activists with plans for our home, ourselves as children, our hearts carved by the waves of uniforms hung in the closets of waves, their dynamic surfaces dictating the memories of tomorrows, the sundries of which I will consume as sandwiches. Enjoy every one. Signature play from Three Rooms Press is my lyrical poetry, like how I have that band like Ohm Slice and the band. It's Ohm like as in resistance, not like Ohm like yoga Ohm. It's the resistance Ohm because it's done with it's a band like with modular synth and stuff. And then the other one is cello, drums, and me, and it's called The Icebergs. This is my big black habit. I'll do a costume change for you, like, you know. My big black habit, the train ride home at 2 a.m. The drunk ticket taker, my luck get me everywhere, trying to touch everywhere, going everywhere but end up nowhere. Not here, never where I am is where I am. I'm never where I am. Anywhere you see me, I'm gone, gone, gone. Seen worse times than this, now I'm stretching myself thin, thinner than I've ever been. I'm reaching, sick ghost doing, cartwheels into the mist, nodding my head at things I don't understand. I can't even hear anymore, but I don't bother asking what. A smile, a laugh, shrugged you off your boring story. I'm hard sleep, no more. Understand, a smile, a laugh. Kick back, kicked back, I'm hard, no sleep, insomnia sucking my dreams up, I'm dream dry, hallucinating all the way home on the train, gotta get my dreams somehow, gotta get my dreams somehow. Empty bottle banging up and down the aisle on the train, spilled coffee, spilled beer on the floor, spilled puke from a boy in a baseball cap. Who's going to clean this mess? I ask you, who's going to clean this mess? Stinking humans, our garbage everywhere, contaminating everything. We live in our own shit and call it convenience. We live in our own shit and call it convenience. Technology creeps in to replace our telepathy. Our machines are erasing our minds. We sell our brains for shit boxes too. Live in a few vacation days we're supposed to be thankful for after giving the best hours of every day to someone else. And I just want to fuck and love and make it home in time. Not wait on another concrete platform for another late train, knowing a million phones are ringing across the street. People are so damn lonesome. People are so damn lonesome. The train barrels in and I'm on it, holding on. All I see is lights on brick buildings all the way back. We gave up the stars for this. We erased our own face with our electricity, tearing holes in me. I bleached my own sky, its true face erased with my electricity, tearing holes in me. I gave up the stars. I gave up the stars. I gave up the stars for this. I gave up the stars. So, I'll read one more. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let's see. Balloons. How many balloons are floating around lost in space? Asks my son. 4 orbits around the sun. He has let go at least a dozen, latex or mylar, pulling tears from his eyes as gravity is defied. Rise, rise, a helium trait. Do we heal after loss or just change? Balloons break hearts. 99 Luft balloons in 1984. The red balloon, 1956. Hours lost over the Côte d'Azur. An open window impelled such punishment. Post the apocalyptic aftermath of loss every day. Something must rise, and we are drawn to those, and we want more from them than what they can. He keeps going back for more, pleading for them, no matter how many times the balloons disappoint him. If they don't escape and shrink into the distance or tangle in a tree, they slowly sink and shrivel, or worse, pop, startle, terrify. The planets around their stars, so much helium themselves. Who says there are no balloons in outer space? Explanations fail us. Imagination is not something to be proved. I just tell him all the lost balloons are there. All of them. Hi. Was that half an hour?
Well, we got a few minutes left, and I'd just like to ask you a couple of questions. But before I do that, I just want to thank you for such a radiant reading. Your singing and your sense of discovery. It's loving, it's exhilarating. It's strong, it's tender, and it's personal, it's sensuous. So thank you for that. You just really lift us all up, and you touch us so deeply. When did you write your first poem?
When I was 6.
Hi, golly. Why did
I was hooked right away.
What took you so long? Why'd you start so late? What is it that attracts you about the poetry form?
The freedom of it, and that life is chaotic and meaningless, and we create meaning. That's what we do as humans. And you know how people always say, oh, everything happens for a reason. That's not true. Things do not happen for reasons. We make up good reasons for why certain things happen, for why anything happens. Nothing happens for a reason, but our power is to make things reasonable, to navigate the chaos and absurdity of life and find a narrative that gives us joy, that gives us meaning. There really is no meaning. We are circling a ball of fire on a rock with mysterious forces that we can name but don't fully understand, like gravity and just the way everything works. It's like completely, it doesn't make sense. We can appreciate it and find it magical or scary or empowering or feel like we understand it. But that's understanding. It's just a feeling. It's not something we can actually do. And poetry is the one part of the human experience that celebrates that so completely, in terms of it's an invitation to think and wonder. It's not telling you what to think or telling you what to wonder. It's always this portal into possibility. And I'm a time traveler. I serve the poetry gods. They're just like my highway. It was like the first road. It's how I got here, and it's how I'm going to leave.
I love that. You certainly give us wonder and joy. Nicca, could you come on, please? And all three of us will talk for a minute or two before we have to go to our next program.
Here I am.
Okay, we have several minutes left, about 3 minutes left. So since you just finished, Jane, why don't you say something about Nicca's poetry, and then Nicca say something about Jane's poetry, and just each of you take about a minute and a half, if you would, please.
Well, I happen to be a true fan of Nicca's poetry. And the thing that I love about her poems is that, like how I said, how poetry is portals, her poems feel like Polaroids. They're snapshots, but not done with a fancy Nikon camera by a photographer. They're by someone who's trying to capture their life. They're like Polaroids. It's you're not going to get to Photoshop it. It's like this one snapshot, and it's hard to make out everything in the picture, but it really is just telling this story, and so real. And so it's just like unpretentious observation and appreciation of the material world that we find spiritual significance in. And her poems are very much moments with objects in them, and the relationship to objects, the thoughts to the objects. And I can really picture her poems, and they're so intimate. They're not these big abstract philosophical things, you know what I mean? I love that too. But I just really like the little windows that are real. Like we're really looking into the house of her through these little Polaroids of poems. And yeah, Nicca, you know, I'm totally a fan. I like write her love letters and stuff. So,
Nicca,
the feeling is mutual. First, I remembered the poet that really influenced me, Elizabeth Bishop. But so Jane LeCroy, I'm a huge fan too. It's mutual. It's like discovering a like self, you know. And I love your poems. They're so fantastical, and you create these big worlds of mystery in a sense, and you're making sense of this mystery, and we get to go with you on this journey that you're on. And sometimes your poems are really funny, and there's so much like love and wonder, and they're just big and beautiful, and I like to live in them. I like to live in your poems.
well, you have certainly invited us, both of you, into your homes and your heart and your wonder, your imagination. And it's really been an exhilarating reading. So thank you once again, Nicca Ray and Jane LeCroy. This is such a remarkable reading. And I want to just announce our next week's poets. Next Tuesday, we have two terrific poets, Mary Kay Rummel and Joanne Durham. And here's our great director, Jennifer Clymer, who grew up, I believe, in New Jersey. So she's close to where you two ladies are.
I did. And listening to not so much, Jane, not so much your poetry, because your poetry is kind of in this universal language. But when you're just being yourself and commenting on like Nicca's poetry, I hear so much of my hometown. So thank you for that. We'll shift back to New Jersey. Thank you both for being here. Please come back soon. If you're in Los Angeles, come and visit us. This was really wonderful. And we don't often, we get people from all age ranges here, but it's nice to have a younger, more vibrant isn't the right word, but the visceral nature of both of your poetry is so plugged into what's currently happening. And I'm really grateful that you were here.
thank you.
Thank you so much.